Hi, this is my LAN box, which consists of Mikrotik router below, HAP2 and Raspberry Pi 4B 8 GB, and also the TP-Link Deco Mesh E4. There is a temperature sensor inside of this box. You can see it shows the 29 degrees of Celsius patch panel, and above there is a fan that is working the way that when I have a 28 degrees of Celsius it's stopping, but above 30 degrees of Celsius it's starting and it's removing the hot air from the LAN box. This is how I did it and how everything is connected. I hope you can enjoy. You can see the cooler is installed on the Raspberry Pi that decreases the temperature to about 40 degrees of Celsius on a CPU. Now I'm going to show you how to generate RSA key and how to import it into the Mikrotik router, then how to connect from the Raspberry Pi to Mikrotik router to the SSH. Let's begin. In the terminal, I'm going to type SSH key -t RSA because I want to generate a pair of RSA keys. So it's asking me what to save the file, override because I already generated it. There is no passphrase because we don't need it, because I'm using the bash script that is connecting from the Raspberry Pi to Mikrotik router. So it doesn't ask for the passphrase because we don't need it. We don't want to store the passphrase in any file, just we want to connect it automatically to shut down the Mikrotik router directly from the bash script in the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so the file is located cd root ssh directory lsl al, and you see there are files. If there will be a information that there are problems or issues with the permissions, you have to set read-write permissions only for the root. So how to make it work? Just use the hmode 600 to ID RSA star. So ID RSA private key and ID RSA pub key will have only read-write permissions. Now you can connect, but you will not connect if you will not do some steps in the Mikrotik router. So first of all, you need to create that file. You need to copy the created file into the Notepad or any text file software. I don't know, Sublime Text or something like that. So first of all, we are copying the file ID RSA pub. It's a public file, a public key, so we need to copy it. So I'm selecting all of these, Ctrl+Shift+C. I will paste it into the file, and after that I will import this public key directly into the Mikrotik router. So this is how we can do it, and after that we will be able to connect, but not so fast, not so easy, just because we need to do some new steps in the Mikrotik router configuration, because if you will not do it, you will not be able to connect. I will show you this in a moment. Just I'm saving this file now. So let's say I will call it I don't know, maybe Mikrotik pub file, something like that. And okay, and I will import it to the Mikrotik router. So switching to Mikrotik. Now what we have to do is just to click on a file, then upload button, and after that quickly check this one, Mikrotik-pub. This is our public key. It's imported. So the next step is to choose the users from the system section, go to the SSH keys, delete the existing key, import, because I think that there will be no key imported for any user, and not. So we are doing this everything from the scratch. User not, Mikrotik pub, no passphrase, import SSH key. So it disappeared from here. That is correct for the security reason. And you can see the key is imported for the user NAT. Not SSH private key, but this one. And this is our public RSA key. And after that, you will not be able to connect if you will not enable the SSH service. So in IP section services, you have to enable the SSH. I'm using a non-standard port. Instead of 22, I'm using 2244. And the connection is available only from the IP address of the Raspberry Pi, 10.10.0.110. Okay, so this is the section, and of course you can see here in users, the user NAT has full permissions and the IP address is also set to a Raspberry Pi. This is for my laptop. So what next? Next, what we have to do is just to switch to the terminal, go back there, and in the terminal we need to connect using the key. So SSH, because we want to use it, and we use non-standard port, so -P2244-I to show the path to the private key. So it will be ID RSA. This is our private key, not a public. Public is uploaded to the Mikrotik router. And our user NAT at 10.10.0.11. 10.10.1, and it should connect. Voila, we are logged in to the Mikrotik router. So if I will check this IP DHCP server, something like that, and we'll print something, you can see we have a DHCP pool described, and we have defined a DHCP for 3 VLANs. That is brilliant. We are quitting the Mikrotik router and the connection is closed. CD root. I have the file called Mikrotik sh. This is a bash script, so if you will edit it, you can see the line. We need to wait a little bit, and you have a SSH user non-host file dev null, goes to dev null, strict host key key checking no, check host IP no, port 2244, and there is a path defined to a private key we generated previously, user, and the IP address of the Mikrotik router. And after that, when it will log in, there is a command system shutdown, confirm yes, and after that quit, go back to the CLI in Raspberry Pi. If there is a press Mikrotik in the NAT log there, then the whole action is going. I mean, the script is shutting down the Mikrotik router. If not, the Mikrotik router will remain powered on. That's how the script works. So we are exiting it, and the next step is to be sure that it will work, but I'm not going to show it because I already tested it. What you have to do is just unplug the power from the UPS, wait till the UPS will be on a low state, I mean the battery will be on a lower state, and it should work automatically. It should detect the level and it should just shut down the Mikrotik router, and after that it should shut down the Raspberry Pi. So the whole configuration is presented in the previous video about the NAT configuration for the Raspberry Pi, where I provided information and presented you how to create and configure and create a configuration and configure it properly for the UPS green cell IO. However, if there will be an option for you to change it a little bit, because all of this depends on your configuration, on the model of the UPS you're using, and as I mentioned previously, you have to dig the information about the UPS model which settings are correct for you and set it properly in your configuration file. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to present you how to make it work. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me for help, and I will try to explain everything once again, or I don't know, maybe some kind of part if you will have any issues with that. Thank you. Bye bye.